Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at UFC Fight Night Shanghai. Johnny Walker versus Zhang Mingyang Zhang. Who could say? There's going to be a lot of names like that on the card. You have to bear with me. I'm going to be going through my predictions for the entire card. I'm going to start with the prelims. First fight of the night is Dair Nogahei. Nogozay? Sure, why not? Versus Uran Satibaldiev. Satibaldiev is the slight favourite, ever so slight favourite. I actually like Dyer for this one. I think it comes down to who can control the grappling. And I think Dyer is slightly ahead in the grappling, slightly bigger frame, despite being outmatched in the height and reach. I think his frame is just a little bit wider. I think he's going to be a little bit stronger in those positions. And I think that's going to let him control the pace of the fight. I do think this one goes to a decision. Both guys have potential to submit each other. I just don't think it's going to happen. Dyer has the potential for a good TKO as well, a ground and pound TKO. I just think it's going to go to a decision. I think it might be a little bit dull. But we're going to go with Dyer by decision. On to the next one. Long Zhao versus Su Yong Yu. Another tough match. I'm fairly sure this one's a pick'em on the odds. Near even. It's a pretty close matchup. I would imagine that Su Yong Yu is the favourite. I would be going with Su Yong Yu myself, probably by a decision. Both guys fairly decent. It'll be a decent matchup. It'll be a good back and forth, providing both guys don't gas too soon. But it'll be an entertaining fight. This one, I do think again it goes to a decision, but I think it will be a nice back and forth, a nice constant changing of positions and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna go with Su Yong Yu, by decision over Xiaolong or Long Zhao. I think it's Xiaolong. Next up, Yizha versus Weston Wilson. Yizha's pretty good. He's being touted as kind of like a new thing from China. Weston Wilson, he's got like one of his more recent losses is to like Gene Silver. So, you know, let's not just disregard him because he got chinned by Silver. He did lose again after that as well. I think he did get knocked out again after that. I can't remember who knocked him out off the top of my head. I could go and check, but that would mean leaving this page and having to reframe it again for the video, and that's not going to happen. So we're going to go with Weston Wilson as the underdog over Yizha. I just think I just think that given Weston Wilson's quality of opponents, perhaps he's being overlooked just a little bit because he's lost to those opponents. The quality of his opponents, the good quality opponents he has lost to, but the good quality opponents are pretty good. So Weston Wilson, I reckon Weston Wilson wins. I'm gonna say, it's a tough one. I'm gonna say Weston Wilson by submission. On to the next one. Michel Pereira versus Kyle Dorcas. I want to be going with Michel Pereira. I'm thinking of Michel Pereira TKO, to be honest. Kyle Dukakis, not terrible. Bit unproven, if I'm honest with you, just a tad unproven. Against Michel Pereira, who's been doing this forever. Wild style, unpredictable. We're going with Michel Pereira. Just, of course we are. Just a wild guy. Nice and easy pick, that one. Michel Pereira TKO. Nice and easy. Next up, Rong Zhu versus Austin Hubbard. Do we pick Austin Hubbard, though? That's the real question. Do we pick Austin Hubbard? No, surely not. Surely not, right? It's a tough one. Couple of matchups like that. I'm tempted to pick Austin Hubbard. I'm sure he's going to be an underdog as well. Moderate favourite, yeah. No, I suppose he's not that good. But can he get an upset over Rong Zhu? That is a tough one. We'll bank on an upset, really, when you think about it. We're banking on an upset. See, for me, Austin Hubbard's lost against fairly decent levels of opponents. Fairly decent level of opponents. Cortes-Acosta's pretty good. Lost a split decision to him. There was somebody else I can't even remember off the top of my head. He goes to a lot of split decisions. He goes to the majority of the time. Austin Hubbard goes to a decision. And recently, his two most recent losses, split decisions over decent level competition. I think we could see another decision. I think maybe it goes in Austin Hubbard's favour. So I'm willing to say Rong Zhu getting upset by Austin Hubbard. I'm going to say Austin Hubbard by decision. Crazy enough. Next up, we've got Lana Kavanagh. Lana Kavanagh? Next up, we've got Lana Kavanagh versus Charles Johnson. Bit of hype around Kavanagh. Charles Johnson, we all know who Charles Johnson is. Been around for a little while now. Tough one. Kavanagh being given a nice little jumping off point to climb those rankings. Taking on Charles Johnson, who's 16, just outside of the top 15. Tough one. I want to pick Johnson. I do want to pick Charles Johnson. I just don't think Kavanagh's going to be able to. You know what? Scratch that. We're gonna go with Lana Kavanagh. I think he's going to come in and overwhelm Charles Johnson fairly quickly. I think he's just going to be too quick for him. Better footwork, better in and out. I think it's going to come down to that, to be honest. I think he's just going to outspeed Charles Johnson, and Charles Johnson's not really going to get a chance to get going. So yeah, we're going to go with Lana Kavanagh. I think we'll go with the decision again. Lana Kavanagh by decision. Charles Johnson's pretty difficult to put away. He's not like a pretty decent chin on him. Not the best in the world, but a decent chin on him. A tough dude. Can survive, can hang in there. So yeah, we're going to go with Lana Kavanagh probably by decision. Next up. Machete versus Gage Young. We're going to be going with Gage Young. No, we're not. I'm chatting nonsense. You see, I want to pick Gage Young because Gage Young is the favourite in this fight. He is. But I struggle. I really do struggle. Just because, right, put it this way. He's back in the UFC and he's still yet to win in the UFC. He didn't even get a win on Contender Series. All of his wins are on regional scenes and smaller promotions. Whereas at least Machete has, wins in the UFC. Not the most amazing wins, but still wins in the UFC. And I'm fairly sure Gage is the slight favourite. Yeah, it's close. It's a close fight. I don't think Gage Young gets it. I'm going to be going with Machete. Machete. I don't even know how you say his name. I'm sorry, dude. That guy. I'm going with that other guy, not Gage Young. Next up. Oh, yeah. By decision. Probably by decision. Next up. Tayyale Nuraji. Tayyale Lake? Nuraji versus Nuraji versus Kiefer Crosby. We're biased on this channel. We like to stick with the with the UK guys, with the European guys. Kiefer Crosby, at least he's ranked. Coming up against guys 11-1 outside of the UFC. I want to pick Kiefer Crosby. Kiefer Crosby obviously doesn't have any wins in the UFC, but neither does his opponent. Of course, he's in. Basically, I'm picking Kiefer Crosby because I think he's had more experience from the losses in the UFC. I know he hasn't got any wins in the UFC, but I feel like his losses will have given him enough experience to maybe beat this newcomer. Hopefully, beat this newcomer. So we're going to go with Kiefer Crosby, mostly because we're biased. On to the next one. Suma Daji versus Kevin Borjas. I think I'm going to go with Borjas. Probably an upset, right? Slight underdog, yeah. I'm going to go with Borjas. See, with Kevin Borjas, he's not really had a win over decent competitors inside the UFC, but neither is Suma Daji. So it's kind of like a fight to see who belongs around 35 in the flyweight division. I'm gonna go with Borjas. Suma Daji, fair enough. Probably more wins in the UFC. But the caliber of opponent he's lost to ranges has a higher range than Kevin Borjas. Kevin Borjas has lost to some okay guys, whereas Suma Daji's lost to some okay guys and some pretty trash guys. So it's a bit of a strange one. Poor style matchups, presumably. I'm going to go with Kevin Borjas for the upset again. I picked a couple of underdogs on this card. I'm picking quite a few underdogs this card, it seems. But the odds are fairly close, so Yeah. Aside from one earlier, though, the odds are pretty skew if, but I'm pretty confident in that one as well. Next up, oh yeah, Kevin Borjas. I'm thinking by decision, to be honest. Next up, Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. We're going with Sergey Pavlovich. We're going with Sergey Pavlovich by knockout. Waldo Cortes-Acosta, lots of holes in his game. I think they're to be exploited by Sergey Pavlovich. Rough couple times out of fights. You know, won his previous fight. 2 fights before that were a rough time. Knocked out by Aspinall. Lost the decision with Volkov. Lost the decision against Volkov. And then beat Jairzinho Rozenstruik by decision. So he's been rattled a little bit. And that does make me a little less confident in picking him. But I do think Sergey Pavlovich should get the job done. I think he gets it done nice and early with a round 1 knockout. Nice cold flatline knockout. Big dude. If he lands a shot, Cortes-Acosta's going out. Simple as that. Next up, Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. I'm going to be going with Aljamain Sterling. I'm a bigger fan. I much prefer Brian Ortega over Aljamain Sterling. I do. But I'm picking Aljamain Sterling for this fight. Brian Ortega doesn't look good. Like, he doesn't look good. He's looking a little bit worse for wear after this weight cut. I don't like the way he looks after that weight cut as much as I am a fan of Brian Ortega. So yeah, tough one for me. A tough one for me indeed. Tough to say. I think it's even a catch weight as well, which is strange. Like, these guys just couldn't make the weight, you know? Tough one. A tough one for me to say. It's a tough one for me to call just because I like Brian Ortega, but I do think the smothering style of Aljamain Sterling, the grappling, the dominant position over submission grappling of Aljamain Sterling, I think he's just going to get to the back of Brian Ortega, and Brian Ortega might be able to stall out and defend there, but I don't think it progresses much from there. I think this fight's going to go to a decision in favour of Aljamain Sterling. Brian Ortega has the ability to flip it around and kind of be offensive with his jits and kind of keep it on the feet and stuff. I just don't think he's going to be able to keep that up long enough, or he's not going to be able to get enough done with his jits against Aljamain Sterling, just kind of wrestling and controlling the situation, which is a shame. I also don't like how he looks after this weight cut. I think he looks a little bit off after this weight cut. Aljamain's looking fairly decent. So I could see Aljamain Sterling just backpacking Brian Ortega the majority of the time, the majority of the fight. So yeah, I want to go with Aljamain Sterling, probably by a decision. Finally, main event time. That was strenuous, wasn't it, guys? That was strenuous getting through all those horrific names. But we made it together. It was the names you read along the way. The friends you made. The names you read along the way. Main event time. Johnny Walker versus Yang Ming Yang Zhang. I'm fairly sure it's Yang Ming Yang, but whatever. Zhang Ming Yang. Tough one for me to say. I'm a big fan of the Walkers. I'm a big fan of Johnny and Walter Walker. I want to pick Johnny Walker by Looney Tune genetics, like I did with Volta last time. But Johnny's a bit more hit and miss. Like, if Johnny gets touched, he will fall over. So it's a bit of a strange. And then sometimes he gets touched and he just eats it. He's a very strange character. Is Johnny Walker. Yeah, fuck it. We're going Johnny Walker. We're gonna pick Johnny Walker by TKO. We're going Johnny Walker by TKO over Ming Yang Zhang or Zhang Ming Yang. Why? Looney Tune genetics. I think Johnny Walker is gonna go like this, and his hand's gonna inflate, and then he's gonna hit Zhang Ming Yang really hard with that fist, and because the fist is like doubled in size, it's gonna do double damage. Johnny Walker by TKO. I think he's gonna sting Zhang Ming Yang. I think he's gonna sting him, follow him down, and probably get the TKO finish. I think his stand-up's just a little bit better. He's going to be a little bit faster, a little bit more technical, a little bit slicker. So yeah, we're going to stick with Johnny Walker, with the caveat that it's Johnny Walker and anything can happen, let's be honest. But yeah, we're sticking with Johnny Walker by TKO. And that does conclude this prediction video. Thank you very much for watching all the way until the end. If you enjoyed it, leave us a like, subscribe for more banging predictions. If you win some money, give me 10% of the profits. And if you lose, don't at me. Until next time, keep your chin down and keep swinging. Peace and love. I'll see you around.